Morning, guys. I'm out here in my high tunnel. It has been a few days of sad. I've been sad. The deer got in here. One night, a member of the family left the door open. And the next night, I closed it, double checked it, closed it. It was closed, but she was still able to break through the door. Just get it open. So she was bound and determined that second night. So she came through, did a bit of damage the first night, did a lot of damage the second night. I'll come through and show you. I'm pretty discouraged because, as many of you know, I've been working really hard on this high tunnel. I've been neglecting my larger garden because I have felt the need to pull back from that and putting my energy into this place and the smaller garden. So to have this amount of destruction is extremely discouraging. And I didn't even want to show you, but I'm out here facing the music. Yesterday I came out and I didn't work in the high tunnel at all. In the days prior, we got back from our anniversary trip. I've been working, getting all the weeds. I've been really enjoying my high tunnel. Some of my potatoes were near harvest, and I was able to harvest a bunch of potatoes and take them to a dinner, and they were just these massive russets, I've never grown russets that big. And I was just really enjoying it. And then the deer come and do this, and they are persistent, like super persistent, enough to get the door open. So I put a lock on it. So they weren't able to get in last night, but I have to lock my door. You can't just close the door. You got to lock the door. So if you just close it, they'll still be able to get in. So they have a lock on. I have a lock on it, and I can beef up the lock more if I need to, or put more locks on if I need to. I'm like, at this point, I'm about to take extreme measures if this happens again. But I want to show you some sad things that happened. The things that they didn't eat is funny to me. The night before they got in, I was just telling my husband we have had a sucky pepper life, and I had some baby peppers, and I was like really joyful. And that is one of the things they went after the most, is my peppers and the trees. So that they just love to eat the leaves off my trees. So they were looking good. We had one deer attack at the beginning of the season before I had anything planted, just the trees. And since then, the trees were recovering quite well. This definitely is taking them back. And I wouldn't be surprised if for at least 2 of the trees, possibly 3, if it does them in and they're done for, which is sad. But there's nothing else I could do about it this time. They've really gone after my blueberries. There's my water, which is actually okay, because it brings me to another topic. I'm going to fertilize the crap out of everything today. I got some fish emulsion, and I'm going to actually steal this hose. Nothing needs watered today. We've been having really cool weather, normal Central Oregon summer weather, but like low to mid 80s. Fortunately, we haven't froze. We got down to 35 last night here on our farm. Didn't freeze, but we're getting close, and plants don't like that. But I will, it's coming. I'm going to unhook this hose, and I'm going to fertilize, and I'm going to just take you along for this high tunnel. So here you can really see the damage on these tomatoes. She just ate the tops off everything. She didn't touch the ground cherry, though, so there's that. Yep, you can see all the weeding I did, and I'm just pulling and putting it on the ground. Every tomato. I don't think there's one that she missed. Not a single one. So that tree was already dead. I was hoping it'd come back to life. You can see the damage on this tree. That little apple tree is the one I don't know if it's going to recover. Sad. All those trees got it. There's one, that tree looks okay. This peach tree or nectarine, and that peach or nectarine right there as well. You can definitely tell some damage. I'm not worried. That tree on the end, I'm worried. So there are a few that I'm just like, I don't know if they're going to recover. That was a volunteer bok choy I was leaving. She got that. She left all of my squash and cucumbers. None of those got ate. My melons, nothing, none of those. My beans, she got a lot of the beans. Left a lot. My tobacco it was in full bloom in this big, beautiful bush. She got that the most. She didn't touch my garden cherries. or my garden huckleberries, none of the basil. So yeah, a lot of these. Look at that guy. Sad. Didn't touch my zinnias or any of my squash plants on my trellis. Over here, yeah, see, like that bean definitely ate. Tomatillo definitely ate. These peppers, she not too bad, but this pepper, I don't know if it'll recover. You can see the baby jalapenos. I'm just like praying this'll. You can see she ate the blossoms. And that one, son of a, she just really did a damage. Over here, I hadn't weeded yet. Concerned about, it was already on the struggle bus. I don't think it's gonna make it past this, guys. This one right here, I'm like, please have enough leaves to photosynthesize. Blueberries, she got really good. So I'm sad, I'm depressed. I'm going to, this is just heartbreaking, but I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to keep weeding. I'm going to fertilize the crap out of them. I know somebody who did a Redmond fertilizer, which is a chemical fertilizer, in their greenhouses. Their plants are just ginormous and beautiful and everything. Now at this point, with how sad I am, it makes me want to lose all my garden morals and just chemical fertilize everything. But at the same time, I have garden morals that I'd like to stick to and see if this Alaska fish is going to work as well. And I'm hoping to just give these plants a big boost. We're almost at August, guys. It's July, the last Friday in July today. So they were doing so good. But I will remember last year the deer did get in later in the year, and I still was able to get quite a bit of harvest, except for they did get in and eat my tomatoes. But I thought I fortified this enough. Obviously not. It's got to be like, I put a security light up so it'll motion sense them when they come. So, but at this point I'm like, do I need like an alarm system? Like if the door gets unlocked, or if somebody comes in the door in the night, like a deer comes in the door at night, do I need a I'm at this crazy lady point where I'm just so mad. I'm just at the point where I'm like, who has to have put a security system up in their high tunnel? I think I might. So there's the crazy garden lady taking it to a whole nother level. So let me get this fertilizer. I'm just going to dump them on, just do it. Dump it on everything. See what it happens. All right. So I'm just dumping the fish. Per gallon, you need about 2 tablespoons for vegetables and plants. So I have a 5-gallon bucket, so I'm doing 10 tablespoons roughly. I'm not measuring it. So, and I'm going to carry on this process once a week, I think. I'll just double check the things, but that's the plan. Anytime I've ever fertilized any other plants, I do it once a week for my flowers on my porch if I really want them to be in crazy bloom. So that's what I'm going to do with my tomatoes and beans and whatever the freak else she got to. We're just going to really add this fish to this and get it going. Hey guys, it's actually been several weeks since that footage, and I actually haven't put out a video in a while because I'm having some technical difficulties, but I thought I would finish out this video and give you an update because it has been, actually I think it's been a week and a half since the first fertilization, and I haven't fertilized since, but I probably should. But I got my latch up, and things have definitely grown since the deer attack. I have lots of tomatoes. It's got bigger. I'm pretty sure my plants have gotten bigger. I wanted to show you. It just got watered, so it is a little damp in here. We have lots of green tomatoes, but they're little. I was concerned about my San Marzanos because I was like, I'm not seeing any babies on here. I see a ton of blossoms, but at this point in August, it's August 7th, I should have some babies. And then I looked in. Can you see those babies? And all of these plants are absolutely loaded with babies, and they're just growing, which is fine because I didn't get my first tomato last year until August 15th, which was a smaller saladette type tomato, which was a glacier, which I had up here, which I don't know if the deer ate that tomato, but I wanted to not leave you hanging and give you a positive outcome. Another thing, we have had some really cold days. Like, I'm talking temps in the, like, yesterday was a high of 74. For August, that in Central Oregon, that's ridiculous. Like, so yesterday was a high of 74. Today's a high of 78. The day before was between 70 and 77 or somewhere. We've had 4 days in the 70s, which is kind of crazy for August. Tomorrow's low 80s. I do think next week is going to bump up, but I have removed all of the shade cloth off because after the deer came in, I felt like I needed to. I felt like I needed to get the shade cloth off, and I felt like I needed to fertilize. And I'll fertilize again this week. I just want to bump up production as much as possible before September. So that's what we're doing. So I'm wanting the sun and the heat to just get in here. There's so many tomatoes on. I'm just really pleased with that. With these cool days, I actually think I'm watering. Oh, there goes my gate. With these cool days, I actually think I might be overwatering because it hasn't been getting hot enough in the high tunnel. But keep in mind, without the shade cloth, and I put my sides down quite a ways because I was nervous for a frost, but fortunately we haven't had a frost. And typically when it gets down to the 70s, we freeze, especially in the summer if it happens. Even in the 80s, it's been we've been known to get some frost. I have been weeding. I think I took a couple days off, and of course the lamb's quarter is already up quite a bit. Yeah. The amount of green tomatoes is amazing. They're little and babies. We have a ton of sugar baby watermelons that are coming on. We got a ton of squash. I actually need to see if it's ripe. I've never been able to grow squash maybe I grew like one plant in the little greenhouse. But let me show you my baby watermelon. This is one of them. I have several. Hello, baby. These back here I bought starts from Azure Standard, and these are the ones I did, but I also planted from seed, direct sowed some up here, and they have a ton of blossoms and a bunch of little baby watermelons that I started myself. Oh, can you see him right there? So I'm really praying. My boys, this has been their biggest request. So is a bunch of pumpkins, and I did some smaller pumpkins, and I also did I did a bunch of sugar pie pumpkins and sugar baby watermelons and cantaloupes and stuff like that. So I'm really praying this is the year that we could get some of these, because that has been my boys' request and I haven't been able to fulfill it. So this squash is absolutely doing amazing. It's beautiful variegated leaves. We have definitely some fruit in here. Not ready yet. That's okay. Everything is getting pollinated. I've seen bumblebees, I see flies, I see honeybees, I see butterflies. All the pollinators are here. All these squashes are doing fabulous. Now, the one thing is I planted strawberries. There's a blossom right there. All along here, and they're kind of getting choked out, but this is their first year, so it's okay if they don't produce any fruit. I'm actually gonna come over here. A lot of the trees I thought may have, like this one, I really thought was gonna kick the bucket. It is starting to put on some leaves. We'll see how it does. Of course, every video I'm gonna say it because it's true. I gotta get in here and weed, but it's just been crazy. A couple things. I have never cardboarded in here very well, and it's showing. So like I do a no-dig garden style, but this I had the chickens in, and I thought maybe I wouldn't have much pressure with weeds. Nope, definitely do. And this is the garden huckleberry. I didn't realize how insanely large this is gonna get. These are like elderberries where they're poisonous to eat raw. I'll have to check my tag, but I have several varieties that are, but then I do have a variety of a garden blackberry, and you can eat, but mostly you need to make them into jams. So that is a whole nother thing that we're gonna go through. So look, I want to show you, this is a ton of basil, and there's some mullein mixed in, but it's just kind of wild. But I thought this was something, I don't know what, because it was in a pack. I'm not sure what kind of basil this is. I do not like this at all. It has sort of a smell like black licorice. I cannot stand black licorice flavoring. Black licorice, black fennel is really hard for me. Anything that smells like black licorice I do not like that at all. I'm like staying far, far, far away from it. But fortunately, I have several other basils that I can enjoy. So I have been coming in here. I made with this basil, I had made a basil creamy chicken. So one of our favorite recipes is a cilantro lime chicken. Oh, it's so good. We can use our own cilantro. Obviously we need to buy limes. We can't really grow limes here unless you're really trying, which I've tried and I'm unsuccessful. You have to grow them inside, you know, or a heated greenhouse. And so, but it's like a creamy sauce and it's a little spicy with some red pepper flakes, and you can use our own cream. Pretty soon we're going to have our own chickens. Meat chickens come this week. And this one, I can handle the smell of that. The other one, not so much. And I don't think it's the same. If it is, this is the opal basil. And I think it's cool to grow different flavors, but if they aren't good, I think I just like a classic basil. But that lemon basil, whoo, I'm getting distracted by all these basils. You clip off the tops and it makes them really bush out, starting to bush out. Look, I'm an Oregonian right now with my Birks and sandals. This is cinnamon basil. But I'm going to be honest with you and tell you I probably won't grow this again either. Because scents are such a pivotal thing. Like, they will take you back. And this one smells like China. And I lived in China for I stayed in China for 4 months. And and this smells, they must use this in some of their street food because this smells like China to me. I have a friend and she's Scottish and she is just a riot. And I lived in, it was 11 years ago, 12 years ago actually, because we adopted all 3 of our boys, but my oldest son was born here in Oregon. And when Trey and I weren't even married, he was born here the year before Trey and I were married while I was in China. So I remember that. So good friends with her today, and she made up this song while we were in there, and one of the lyrics is, every step is a new smell. And it was true. You'd be walking down the street of China and you'd be like, oh my gosh, what is that smell? I need to go eat it. I need to find it and I need to eat it. And the next you would be like, oh, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. And then the next smell would be like, oh, this isn't so bad. Then the next smell would be like something else. And it was literally every step you took down the road was a new smell. And this was one of the primary smells. This has got to be something that they cook. The cinnamon basil has to. I probably won't be growing that again either. But I will tell you, the sweet basil, like the Genevieve basil, chef's kiss. This lemon basil is by far my favorite. And I thought I planted a holy basil, a tulsi. I can't find it anywhere. I don't know if it germinated, if it didn't germinate. I have no idea. The seed pack was kind of old and it looked like it had been a little wet. So anyway, I can't find my tulsi basil. I had to put my basil up on my flannel, so that's why I don't have my flannel anymore. But this squash guy, I don't know if we'll have time to make it all the way up. I don't even know if he's gonna be able to. He's got lots of blossoms down here, and all my cucumbers are growing up crazy. And I don't know if he's gonna have time to grow good and give me some fruit. Hope so. Over here, I had a volunteer. I thought was a whatchamacallit, tomatillo, but it was a ground cherry. And I just want to show you because I have never seen a ground cherry with this thick of a stem. Okay, look at that sucker. Like, what the heck? That's crazy. It's just loaded with ground cherries. It's doing amazing. Also, I was really concerned about my peppers because I told you they were, look at this. This is the saddest deer eaten pepper, but I fertilized the crap out of it. And look at, there's like a lot of baby peppers coming back. Same with this guy. This is so funny to me because the deer just mowed them down. But like, look, hello peppers. They're coming along. There's a brassica. What the freak is this? I didn't plant this. Okay, so these peppers are cracking me up. I bought these at Wilco, and they say they are the quickie hot fire pepper, and they're supposed to be super quick. Well, they've been super slow, and they did not get attacked by the deer. They're just crazy slow. But look at all these tiny babies that are everywhere. I have 4. They're all not doing great, but starting. So I just wanted to make a quick video and come on here and tell you and show you different things that are happening. The blueberry plant that got a ton of them got 8, but you can see all the new growth. If you hear some wild banshees, my boys just came out to play with these cool days. They've been able to play like all throughout the day, and it's just been lovely and beautiful and outside. Sometimes it's just so freaking hot and smoky. And also with that, the smoke has been gone because we had a ton of smoke come in from all these fires around Oregon, but with all the rain, we got 1 day of good rain, and with that it knocked out the smoke for the last 3 days. Looks like it's coming back in today, but it's so cool and wonderful. It's just been lovely, like cool enough where I need a space heater like in the mornings. It's cold. The amount of green tomatoes I'm seeing from here is just crazy. We have some volunteer sunflowers, must just be from the sunflowers from the chicken feed that we'd feed them. I have a couple, 2 or 3 in here, so that's just fun. It's a wild jungle. It's going to get wilder because these plants are going to get way huge in the next few weeks, especially with me fertilizing. I've just kind of shut the high tunnel up for a few days and just was like, you got to recover, because it was really disheartening, but she has. Also, I got another video coming out for you guys with the little garden. That has just been amazing. It's actually been a few days since I filmed that too, and it's even more things are happening in there now. I just need to keep filming so you guys can see all this, because this is really when our gardens, summer gardens, hit their peaks, and summer greenhouses hit their peaks in our zone, because we are a short season, we are a zone 3, and so yeah, we have some setbacks, but we're not giving up and we're continuing. And I really think that's what it has to be, especially for Central Oregonian gardener, that it really just has to be, you just have to be tenacious and just keep planting and just keep coming. And if you got to turn away from your sad parts of your garden for a few days because the deer broke in, happened to my good friend, went in and ate a lot of her plants as well in her greenhouse. The deer are tenacious right now, and so we also have to be. If you have to take a break for a few days and come back to it, do it, because don't give up. We have such a short season, and a lot of times a lot of gardeners like to give up in August, but don't do it, because this is the best time, guys. Look at this. Ah! Like, look at that. It's amazing. It's beautiful, and it's going to be very fruitful. The amount of green tomatoes, I don't think the camera's probably picking up on it, but I showed you some, but like every single plant is loaded. My peppers for the first time ever. My zinnias are about to bloom. My squashes are squashing, and my watermelons, and I really need these watermelons and pumpkins to do well. So my boys, mainly the watermelons, so my boys feel a sense of, the garden spirit. That always helps when you get something real good out of it. And I'd like a watermelon too, I've never grown one. So anyway, thank you guys so much for following along with me. And I'm glad I came back with this video at the end of this video, because I had a really sad, poor attitude. And this helps bring everything back to life. So thank you guys again. And I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.